Welcome back to part 2 and reviewing more newly released fragrances from MBT Perfume Boutique. Let's check them out. Let's start first with the presentation. For the presentation, it comes off in this box with a glossy design, a gem-shaped like bottle, with a gold cap that also resembles a gem, a leather textured sticker label, and a pressurized atomizer. You can check my last review for my full thoughts on the presentation. Let's start first with Versace Pour Homme. You guys probably know Versace Pour Homme is one of my favorite designer fragrances, so I know this fragrance DNA at the top of my head. So off the top, you don't really get much of the citrus compared to the original, so this opens up with a lot of green aromatics, florals, watery, and kind of clean. Medyo nakulangan lang siya a little bit with the neroli. So what's the difference in picking up with MBT's take on Versace Pour Homme? So it's a good question. So MBT's take is a little bit more greener and more floral, and a little bit less citrusy and a little bit on the watery side, and a little bit less clean siya. You don't really get much of the neroli here, but I don't really mind. It's not really as prominent yung neroli din naman sa original. It really only helps to balance the fragrance out. On the dry end of the fragrance, naging close siya, like really close. My slight differences lang, and I prefer the difference here. So I want to talk about it. So the difference of picking up with MBT's take on the dry down sa Versace Pour Homme, this leans a little bit more ambery and less on the muskier side. The reason why I prefer this, kasi meron times with me on Versace Pour Homme, it smells kind of eggy, yung pagka-muskiness niya. Well, this one, the take on it, it's a little bit more sweeter because of the ambers, more ambery siya, and you still get the muskiness, of course. And you also get a lot of florals here in the dry down still. Naamoy mo pa rin yung florals here. Comparing it to the original, it's more of a clean musk sa dry down niya. But I prefer this floral and musky and amber take nila, so props to them. You guys should consider checking this out if you really don't like yung pagka-eggy or yung pagka-muskiness ng Versace Pour Homme. This is a little bit more greener, floral, and a little bit more sweet on the dry down, but you still get that muskiness, but very toned down siya. For the performance, is really great actually on my end, despite being an inspired fragrance. For the performance, I got around 5 hours of longevity in my skin, with a soft projection for 1.5 hours. So Versace Pour Homme is another few versatile fragrance na bagay here sa climate natin. Since wala naman tayong winter and fall, you can rock this anywhere, and you could overspray with it and you won't offend anyone. Bagay na bagay ito for office wear, at the school, even at dates, at the gym, definitely for gym since very fresh siya. Last you have here is the Yanlexir. So this opens up with a lot of honey, aromatics, although nakulangan siya a little bit ng lavender, so it's basically just mint and honey. Although medyo linear lang siya, you only get some changes in the deep dry down of the fragrance. On the deep dry down of the fragrance, this fragrance turns very sweet with a lot of honey and some hints of vanilla. So malayo yung DNA ng lemon elixir here. It's kind of sad na hindi nila masyado nakuha. You only really got here is just honey, some hints of aromatics, just purely mint, and some hints of vanilla on the dry down. Although performing siya on my end. But for the performance, I got around 6 hours of longevity on my skin, with a mild projection for 2 hours. In my own opinion, I do think you can wear this fragrance at office, at school, since it's just purely mint and honey nga, and just dial down the spice a bit since a little bit sweet and a dry down. But this fragrance really shines at formal events and dates. Anyways, what do you guys think from these fragrances from MBT Perfume Boutique? I do think the Versace Pour Homme is a solid one. You guys should check this out. As for Yanlexir, it definitely needs some improvement. I hope they can find the way in the future to make this one a little bit closer to the original. Medyo nakulangan lang siya talaga ng tobacco, vanilla, and some lavender at the opening. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.